So this weekend, what am I doing? What the hell? I am studying this weekend. It didn't, very close up, I don't have the right equipment, and I don't like those equipments with a stick on it. So I have marked my Bible, which I've had for many years, and this weekend, what I'm doing, other than moving rubbish and cleaning rubbish and all of this, I am studying who my lovers are. One is of the hell, coming out of the satanic stock, and the other one is of heaven. So I've marked it well, and I'll be studying it. I've never studied it before. And I've also studied the domain and the Holy Spirit dominion, which is marked in yellow. So the hub is on the bottom here. I've got a heavenly hub, and I also have the smaller one, which is the hellish hub. So I will do this video, which is a mask, since I've never actually had a lover. They were all sponges, users and abusers. So the hell hub, I've marked it. I've marked it well. Anyway, I'm going to get my Bible now from the other Bible, because I've got two, from my foundation when I first became a Christian. What does it say? So I'm going to do this public target against the poor and the migrants in England, that this bad type of frog, Orwellian, bad type of lizard, so as an eagle scooping down and getting it in my talons. Because it's based on the economy. They think it's a waste of money to help migrants, not the rich ones, the poor ones. So they want to eliminate us. That's their bad determination, because they think that resurrecting from the dead with Christ, or all of us who are perishable, we're not really allowed to be raised again or to have a new anything. So we're the good opportunists versus the bad opportunists for the physical and spiritual body, based in the book of Corinthians. I'm not going to specify whereabouts, chapter and verse, not on this occasion. So yeah, I'm studying that death, the deadly dangers, and I can't zoom out. Why is this camera so close? It's something's wrong here, and I can't zoom out. There's also the bad type of pervert, and there is such a thing as a good pervert, which is not a pervert at all. But there's a good and bad, and yin and yang, and everything. And so what does the Holy Spirit recommend immediately, so we can differentiate who is devoted and committed and who isn't, and who is new? So it's very fascinating for me how there is a delight sweeter than chocolate when true love arrives. When true love arrives, when being devoted arrives, and everything is then alert, because God knows God's people who have been toiling, working hard for God's service and God's will. And we have had the absence of true friends and true family who are not toxic, the bad type, the dysfunctional type. So we hadn't had that support. So we haven't toiled for nothing. I haven't done God's will for nothing as a single mom. I haven't worked hard for nothing. And so that's the message of 1 Corinthians, to say that there's a secret based on those who are coming out of hell, which is totally creeped me out. And it has to remain a secret. Because it's deadly dangerous. compared to those who are a heavenly type of husband, there's no secret associated, there's nothing to hide. So those who are going to be saved are saved souls, potential progress and partner, which would include taking care of children. If I cannot have children, adopt children. So that's that's only after being established. It takes 1 or 2 years to be established. And it's something I always wanted, it through protection, because when I was married, I wasn't protected. I was attacked, and he hated the pregnancy and children in general. He refused his other daughter or son to have any connection, which devastated me as a mum when I was married. And so I never had that. I never had the family I wanted. And so it was a challenge. It is a challenge, because that's the whole point of being a woman. Otherwise, if I don't have children at home, then I'm humiliated, and I don't feel like a woman. I feel like a unisex or some type of disgusting gender fluid that is not doing God's will. So all women are there to either give birth or to adopt children, or to be like a wet nurse. And even that for women who have a medical condition and that cannot feed their babies. So this is the part of the Christian community as a woman. And so I had to mention this. And natural affection, even St. Paul gave them a holy kiss in a community, and he knew how to separate the demon-possessed and the mentally sick. They were also supported, however they were separated. So he had the intelligence for that in 1 Corinthians chapter 16. Wow! There's some intelligent man of God there who knew the difference between those who were the family of God compared to those who were not, those who were sick compared to those who were not sick. So he obviously had the common sense 2,000 years ago. How much more should we have that common sense today? And so that's the drama. So to consider what is familiar and what isn't, it's common sense, and it's fortune versus those bad leaders who constantly make misfortune and extremely dangerous and dark situations. And then we become too tired and too weary, because narcissists and abusers generally don't like a married life. They like their freedoms. And I do. I said to God, I have a bad marriage has caused me so many problems, health problems. I don't want to repeat the same mistake again. And I described this in prayers for many years before I entered social media. So what they're doing currently against the migrants in the UK who are poor, not the rich ones, legal migrants, not the illegal, we are supposed to be, categorically speaking, economic migrants, and if we're not, then we're targeted for abuse, date rape, or sexual molestation, where the man overpowers you and uses you and abuses you as a bit of meat. So that has made me weary. It's made me exhausted and tired. Every type of bad passion, every type of bad affair, every type of disorder has made me tired and weary. And I don't want to receive a disservice, disrespect, and all the negativities in the dictionary for my poverty and for my status quo, unemployment, because I can still work from home. I just need that opportunity. So they're blocking my good opportunities. They want to turn me into a total slave because they said that I'm not aggressive enough, I'm not arrogant enough to make a huge money. And yet I'm blessed, and God's people who are blessed have lots of ideas to make money. We're blocked by these idiots and these Satanists, and they're stealing my idea and saying that they're doing a better job than me. Duh. How are they doing better jobs than me when it's my idea in the first place? And when I don't have that equipment, if I had the equipment that they had, my idea would still be better than theirs, and I would still make more money than them because it's my original idea. So these idiots are going around gloating over me, saying that they have better equipment than me, they can make more money than me, and yet they're thriving on my idea. And it's so excruciatingly painful, psychologically and physically, to be abused by these bad leaders who only think about themselves and who steal, kill, and destroy our civil rights and human rights. So who are we? We are God's people. We are persecuted. We are mainly women and children and the elderly, the frail and the fragile. We are in poverty-stricken. Not so much the native who are going through a pandemic, either ill health or economic cost of living crisis. They're not targeted. It is the migrants, the legal migrants, that are targeted. It is the Christians who are targeted. So it's bad enough to have a cost of living crisis and everything going more expensive. That's bad enough. And all the illnesses and airborne illnesses, that's bad enough. Adding to that is that it's my race, it's my relatives. All of this is to my disadvantage. It's to my detriment. It's to their design me to fail, to lose. Which is being captured as if I'm contaminated by my toxic relatives, toxic ex, any bad gossip or rumor, they would multiply. So it's an onslaught, very cunning. So if they're a fox for the devil, I'm also foxy for God. But they're cunning as a fox, so God is crafty to the crafty. They abuse their position of powers. I don't abuse my position of power. So that's the difference. This supposedly authoritarian, envious and jealousy, that they want to take everything from me so that I live on the edge with nothing, to destroy my reputation, to accuse me of being timid, not eloquent enough. All of this is to cause me doubt, to cause me to be part of a corruption smear campaign, to claim that I'm not a Christian, to claim that I have no purity, I have no sanity, and I'm insane, I'm mad. So all of this is because of the authorities and the bad managers who are a bad type of a frog and a bad type of a rodent. So I did make a note that the one is reserved, which is a rodent at the end. There are various types of rodents in the animal kingdom, which is normally associated to a double portion of the wind air element. And the other type, which is someone similar to Meghan Markle, it makes me want to puke. So I'm nothing like Meghan Markle. I may have dark eyes and dark hair, but it does not mean I'm a narcissist, the same as Meghan Markle. So I find that very offensive because I'm offended by bullies. And I have God's given right to have self-defense. And they've removed every defense. They want me to put my guard down, to relax, to trust, to turn the situation around, and at the same time they're criminals. So I'm not going to put my guard down. I'm not going to trust those who want to ruin my reputation, who want to remove my credentials, who are those who are closest to me that want to hurt me the most. So why should I be punished by those who have caused an offence and broken the law and are criminals for no reason? And there is a reason, because they want to destabilise my home, destabilise my emotions. That's why they're constantly punishing me. That's why they're constantly targeting me, this violent criminals or drug users, so that I'm not capable of any diplomacy. Diplomacy, according to the New World Order and the world leaders, is they're not capable of it. They want to remove it so that it no longer exists. Diplomacy, democracy. They want to, they're impelled by the feeling of negative emotion that is extreme and severe, because they are saying I'm claiming free rent, as if I am not disabled. And I'm saying I am disabled. Go and pick on someone else who's not disabled claiming free rent. And so this is why it's so severe, that they cannot tell the difference between someone who's severely disabled and someone who's not severely disabled. Some of us have a cripple impairment without the pain. I have cripple impairment with the pain. That is also not differentiated. They're all treating us all the same, the fit and the unfit. And that's another reason why I'm fat, because I couldn't exercise or walk for many years. I'm blushing. But I'm not a coward. I don't want to be a co-worker to someone who ignores my disability. I'd want to be able to work from home and find work that is suitable for me, in addition to have part-time, so that I always have it there as an extra cash, just in case the worst comes to the worst, or if there's a civil war or any other war with the economy collapsing. So the first thing is looking at this holy couple for my future, if I ever have one, is the immediate relief of my situation. That is, they're putting me down, my esteem, my confidence, because of my status quo, that I'm unemployed even though I'm eligibly claiming state benefits. So the excellent news for immediate relief is to be able to find little part-time work from home where I can earn money, so that I'm not called a retard, because that's extremely embarrassing. The second thing is to be able to dictate to the dictator, bully the bully, to have my civil and human right for my privacy laws, to say that why is it only the rich and the working class that have privacy and I don't, and it's all based on money. That's another immediate rectifying their systemic abuse error, which is civil right abuse and human right abuse. And the third aspect of having proven its true love, both from the men that come from hell and those who are heavenly, the third aspect of those is to distinguish me, because they've mixed and mingled everything between those who are Christians versus those who are not. So my religious rights. So I made a note of that about mixing. I made a note. Jingle, mix, mingle. Jingle bell, jingle, mix, mingle, jingle bell rock. Yeah, precisely. It's a suitable song. So that has not yet evolved. That love has yet not been given to me, never ever. And I pray to God, it's important for to start somewhere, to dream and never give up on the dream, to always have a prayer, never give up on the prayer. And I've made my notes. I want everyone to acknowledge that there's two types of human weakness and laziness. There's one for recovery, the other one is for rudeness and for wrongdoing. There's a difference. And in closing this video, I wanted to make it short and sweet, is the divinity of God's greatness in my life. So they have to acknowledge I'm a Christian and make the difference between women who are Christian compared to women who are not, mothers who are Christians compared to mothers who are not, wives who are Christian compared to wives who are not. That's the first thing. That was the third thing. And within the third thing, it branches off into the confirmation I've never had an affair, neither am I ever going to have an affair. The confirmation that I love God, who has divinity. He is the greatest being, visible or invisible. What my Christianity means. First of all, they acknowledge the difference. Second of all, they know they have a knowledge of what greatness means. To say my safeguarding against their safeguarding, it's a complete opposite thing. They have third parties and all of this rubbish and poop and peep and puke in the toilet. So there's a bad type of safeguarding, there's a good type of safeguarding, there's a bad type of authority, there's a good type of authority, there's a bad type of evangelism, there's a good type of evangelism, because we are following the example of Christ, who did it voluntarily. So there is no charity where there's no duty of care. Jesus provided a duty of care within his missionary, within his charity, and his voluntary work. So I also want the opportunity to spread the gospel and the good news of the voluntary work as well as paid work opportunity. I also have personal diaries, so I may be able to transform it into an actual book that can sell. And turning my weakness into strength with God's help. So that's through awareness to profound effect of changing me. My confessions, my bravery, and all of this, and natural affection and supernatural love, tenderness, experience mysticism, spirituality, and a good type of opportunity and priestess, prophetess. So all of this in a book from my diary. In closing, how many minutes have I been on here? I wanted to make it short and sweet. So I haven't blocked anybody as a result of realizing that there's good supremacists and bad supremacists, who the good ones will enable me and help me to endure evil and help me to remove hate crime and why I'm being despised. So it was pointless of blocking anybody because they came back double trouble. Closing. I'm Mima, Maya Maria, also for 4 decades. I'm also Mima, known as. 22 minutes exactly on the 12th of December 2025, Friday. So I'll be studying this and I'm going to keep it to myself. I just want the members of the public to know that God is in control of the dead and the living, mainly of the living, looking for the man of God, who are the holy type of couple, but they're very few of them. However, it could be that God wants me to go and save men from hells in order to have a holy woman of God versus an unholy man. That's possible, but either sides. So closing the video.